Welcome back to this next edition of Nook Fears Storytime. It is Cinco de Mayo, so this is a day of drinking, and I wanted to give y'all a nice little story time of the day that I got the drunkest ever in my life. So on this day, I tried to seduce a lesbian. That's how you know I was drunk. Let's talk about it. So I I got this friend, all right. Oh girl hit me up. She was like, "Hey, you want to come over and play drunk Uno?" I say, cool. I ain't have nothing else going on that night. I was down to do it. She say, grab a bottle of casamigos and some Red Bull. I say, ooh. At this point in time in my life, I had never had casamigos ever in my life. Um, I knew about it from social media. I knew what it did to people. I seen how people reacted to it. I ain't never had it. Um, and then with Red Bull as a chaser, now I'm a lightweight when it comes to alcohol. So I always have juice as a chaser. I ain't never had Red Bull. She was like, just try it. So I was like, okay. In my back of my head, I'm like, she want to go through this whole bottle. Like we both gonna be drunk at the end of the night because I'm gonna win some games. I'm gonna lose some games on purpose, so we could be kind of equally drunk. I wonder what she's trying to do at the end of the night. That's just kind of what's running through my head. Thing like that. Because she's lesbian, she's into women. She can't be trying to get me tonight. Maybe she just want to have a good night playing cards with an old friend. Okay, cool, boom. So I grabbed the bottle, grabbed the Red Bull, mosey on over to her house, right? So she opened the door. Body is bodying, looking good. She greets me. She hugs me. That's Victoria. Don't tell nobody. She smells good. She turn around. She walks towards the table. The donk is donkeying. I say, what is we doing tonight? So we get to playing the game, right? And she win the first couple hands. I win the next couple hands. We going back and forth. We halfway through the bottle. I'm feeling it. The Casamigos is hidden. I feel like she looking a little different to me now, right? I look over at her. She a lightweight too. I could tell she a dripping water faucet right now, but she's gay. Like she can't be trying to do nothing tonight, right? So we play some more games. We trying to get down to the bottom of the bottle. We really going through this bottle of Casamigos, the big bottle. We get down to the last hand. She hit me with that draw four twice. Crazy work. She uno'd on me. I took the last shot, right? So now I'm toe up. She toe up. And so I hit her with that. I need to use the bathroom. Now, I did that because the bathroom is right next to her room. So what I did was I peeped the corner, out the corner of my eye, right? I seen that rose on the charger. I'm like, you ain't gonna need that tonight. So use the bathroom. I come on out, and she's still at the table, right? So I said, so what you about to do tonight? She say, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna go to bed. I say what now? You gonna do what? You gonna oh you must mean you wanna go to bed with me? She say, look, I'm gay. I said, baby girl, Kevin Gates, me too. I like women too. Let's explore this together. She said, you are drunk. I said, yeah, drunk in love. Beyonce, what are we doing tonight? Because at this point, I'm in full salute. You know what I'm saying? She said, you so crazy. I said, crazy work, which is what I'm trying to do tonight. I'm trying to put in crazy work. What are we doing? She not picking up on none of it. I say, Nook. She say, Nook, what are you talking about? I say, baby girl, Chris Brown, I'm trying to take it down. I really want to take you down. Sexy Red, Pound Town. We're going to Pound Town. Sandy, clap cheeks. I'm ready. I'm ready, 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 ready. SpongeBob, do you catch my drift? She say, boy, you so crazy. I say, she playing with me now. She say, come give me a hug. So I hug her, right? She feel it up against her leg. She say, what's that? I say, that's Woody Woodpecker ready to peck some wood, but you don't want your wood pecked. What you think this is? You thought I was playing? She say, why are you like that? What you woman? You got me full of this Casamigos and Red Bull. My heart is beating out my chest. I'm ready to go round after round. And you telling me that you ain't trying to do nothing? What you think is happening right now? I'm in full salute at this point. I'm ready to go. What you trying to do? She say, you know what? You are clearly messed up. You can stay on the couch for a little bit and sober up before you go home. Or you can spend the night. I say, stay on the She pissed me off when she said that, so I started to walk away. She tried to grab me. I said, unhand me now. Do not touch me. Because when I tried to take you in there and crack your back and break your head, boys, you ain't want to do it. So don't touch me now. Do not touch me, woman. She say, why are you acting like that? Because I came over here to complete a mission. Now I have to go over here and tell my commander-in-chief that mission incomplete. This was mission impossible. You know you're wrong for this. That's the problem with you lesbians. You bring a straight man over to your house, you get us full of that yak, and you don't want us to break your back. That's a crime. That's a crime of passion. And you ought to be arrested for what you did to me tonight. You ought to be ashamed of yourself because you're about to send me out here into the world as a menace to society. I'm about to hit every bush on the way out the door. I can't control what's happening right now, and you don't want to help me. So if you don't mind, please let me leave and let me go home. She say, okay, fine. Call me when you go home. I said, okay, Friday. So I get in the car, right? At this point, I'm crying. Now the tears are starting to come because she really got me in this car like this. I am rated R hard. I gotta go home, and I don't even know how I'm gonna make it there. I am discombobulated, right? And I'm sorry to all people out there. Please do not drink and drive. But I could not stay in that house because every time she walked, she bounced that ass. And I was going to bounce off the walls, not being able to do nothing about it. So with that being said, I had to take my ass home. So what I did was, I called my baby mama. I said, baby mama, listen to me carefully. I'm going to make it home, but I'm not going to make it to the bed. Please, when I call, come get me. She say, are you drunk? I said, duh, what you think? Would I be calling you if I wasn't? I say, look, listen to me carefully. I'm going to make it home, but I'm not going to make it to the bed. When I call you, come get me off the floor. She say, okay. So I make it home. When I walk through the door, I immediately hit the floor. Phone falls out my pocket, hit the ground. I say, hey, Siri, call baby mama. Calling baby mama. I say, baby mama, it happened. Come get me off the floor. She said, damn, you made it home already? I said, yeah, I will do 150. Let's go. Come get me up off the floor. She said, I'll be there. Now keep in mind, baby mama lived 8 minutes away. It took her 30 minutes. Count it. 30 minutes to make it to my house. I could have died. She walked the door. She said, Lord, that's her favorite word. She said, Lord, what's wrong with you? I said, please don't call him the Lord because I might be about to go see him tonight. Please get me in the bed. She picks me up and she slings me halfway on the bed. So half of my body is on the top of the bed. The lower half is still on the floor. I say, baby mama, you can't leave me like this. I'm incapacitated. Help me. So she grabbed the bottom of my legs and flipped me over like I was a Krabby Patty onto the bed. And she starts to walk to the door. I say, baby mama, please don't go. I might die. You can't leave me like this. She said, boy, you're going to be okay. I said, I knew you never loved me. She said, bye. And she closed the door. She walked out on me. She walked out on me. She walked on. She left me to die on Casamigos and Red Bull, my own baby mama. These two women tried to kill me that night. Because at this point, the blood is still rushing. I'm still in full salute. Who's going to help me with that? But the thing is, I'm too drunk to take care of it myself. I can't do nothing. So I'm just laying there. I'm just laying there. And it just hurts. Everything just hurts. Everything is hurting. Nobody care about me. I say, hey, Siri, Call Taste the Rainbow. That's what she was saying then. That's my phone. Hey Siri, call Taste the Rainbow. She said, hello. I say, I made it home. She say, you in the bed? I say, yeah. She say, good. I'm in the bed too. Now I hear buzzing. I say, what's that? She say, nothing. I say, you a goddamn lie. You got that rose on, do you? Don't you? She say, no. I say, I hear it. You got it on the high speed. She say, I'm gonna call you tomorrow. I say, no. She hang up the phone. I say, this bitch. So she got me drunk, loose as a goose. Don't get me started. Just to turn the rose on, I say that's diabolical. I say never in my life. I'm never playing Uno again with another lesbian. She got me. She got me. That was the drunkest I had ever been in my life. I couldn't do nothing about it. I said I was gonna die a virgin that night. Death by lesbian and casamigos and Red Bull and baby mama. That was my obituary. That's what it was gonna say. I told myself I could not get that drunk no more. I could not get that drunk no more. Let me tell you something about you lesbians. You're mean. You're cruel. Why would you do that? Why you do that to men? Especially you femmes. You can't be looking all good, donking. And get a straight man off the casamigos and not do nothing. That's a crime. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. And to this day, I ain't never got that drunk again. And we gonna keep it that way. I just wanted to let y'all know. I just want to let y'all in on that little secret of mine, that little story time about how drunk I got and on Cinco de Mayo. Let this be a lesson to y'all fellas. Don't have no fine lesbian friends. They're gonna have you calling your baby mama at midnight to come get you off the floor of your apartment. I promise you. It ain't even much worth it. The cools ain't even that good. I just know it. But that's neither here nor there. That's the end of my story time. I done got hot thinking about it all over again. I'm out of this